This winter school serve as a global forum bringing together scientists, academicians, researchers, industry professionals and policymakers. In the present agriculture scenario, the role of AI driven solutions, digital advancements and environmentally sustainable technologies is becoming increasingly vital for ensuring resilience, productivity and farmer well-being. As we begin day 6, we look forward to another engaging and informative session. Participants will continue to gain insights from renowned national and international experts and who will share both research perspectives and practical experiences. The program aims to build capacity, encourage innovation, lead agriculture, promote global academic cooperation, and translate research into practical solutions. We gratefully acknowledge the support of our collaborating institutes, VNMKV Parbani, US Raichur, Level University Canada, and ICAR NBPGR New Delhi for their valuable sorry for their valuable contribution to the success of this initiative. With this, let us move ahead with day 6, continuing our shared pursuit of the sustainable, inclusive, and future ready agriculture system. Now, it is my great pleasure that we are honored to welcome our guest for today, Dr. Balraj Singh, former Vice Chancellor of Sri Karan Narendra Agriculture University, Jobner. Dr. Balraj sir is a highly respected academician and an eminent administrator with decades of experience in agriculture, education, research, and institutional leadership. During his tenure as Vice Chancellor, he played a significant role in strengthening academic excellence, promoting research driven agriculture, and encouraging innovation and capacity building in the agriculture sector. His vast experience, visionary leadership, and deep understanding of agriculture systems has contributed immensely to the growth of students, researchers, and farming communities alike. His guidance and insights continue to inspire the agriculture fraternity. We are truly privileged to have Dr. Balraj Singh with us today, and we look forward to gaining valuable insights for his rich experience. We welcome you, sir, and the platform is all yours.
Sakshi, thank you very much, first of all. And just I want to know the participants I am seeing under 140 almost, but who are the participants?
Sir, they are they are from different universities, and uh, they are
Faculty
students of.
members or students?
Yes, sir.
Some of faculty members and some students of PhD.
Yes, a PhD, master's, bachelor's, and also the assistant professors and faculties.
Okay. Then second question is, what will be my topic for discussion today?
Sir, actually, the theme is, like I said, it is based on revolutionizing agri-system through AI, digital tools, and green technologies. So, it will be a great pleasure if you guide the students to how, they can use AI, digital tools, and the green technologies.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sakshi, for your for introduction. And first of all, I would like to welcome all the participants who are with us today, this online platform. And as Sakshi has already elaborated, that this is a winter school, 21 days winter school, international winter school they are organizing. And as she has told the topic also, that what usually we are required to discuss during this training program. As far as my expertise and specialization is concerned, although I have experience of various areas, not limited to horticulture or vegetable science or protected cultivation, I have vast experience being the basically the man of protected cultivation, uh, or I can say the high-tech horticulture. Then later, I joined as director National Research Institute on Seed Spices Ajmer. So there also I gained experience related to seed spices largely around 4 years. And as serving two terms as Vice Chancellor AU Jodhpur, and also lastly, and the last one as Vice Chancellor SKNU Jobner, and also working as project coordinator, honeybees and pollinators. Although my subject is horticulture and vegetable science, but I also served ICR as project coordinator, honeybees and pollinators, very important project as on today. And I served there for 3.5 years. So altogether, what I mean to say, I have diverse exposure, and we can speak or we can discuss different aspects related to agriculture, horticulture, or other areas, related areas. But as Sakshi has already given some lines related to the winter school, digital, AI, okay, I will try to link these important topics with discussion today. But first of all, let's start with the background of agriculture, that what is the present status, what has been the past, and what will be the requirement by 2050 in next 25 years for a country like India, and what the resources we do have at present, what liabilities we are having. We have to see everything together. So I will not be going with any PPT today, because if Sakshi have informed me, then I could have make a PPT, or I was supposed to speak through the PPT, but I will be speaking extempore and discussing with you. And in the last, the participants can discuss, they can ask questions. So I will be discussing more or less related to Indian agriculture. That also will be covering the horticulture or the related areas. So see the resources. We have 2.3% of the world land only, very limited water available with us. But the liability, the major liability is population. India is having around 18% of the world population residing in our country. 18%. Land is 2.3%, water is around 1%. So you can see rainfall, no issue, reasonably good, 1150 or 1170 mm is the annual rainfall. That is good. Some areas are experiencing very good rainfall. But with the climate change, there are usually uneven spells, and there are a lot of disturbances also. Mostly in the past, when we were young, at that time, mostly the disturbances were arising from Bay of Bengal or Indian Ocean. But now, these days, there is a lot of disturbances are coming from Sea of Arabia, or we can say Arab Sagar, or this side, western part. They are also creating a lot of problems, but there are a mixed experience. There is advantage also sometimes, and the major advantage the states are gaining, like Gujarat. Sometimes they are also having bad experience because of devastating lot of calamities or this like this. But Rajasthan is also getting a lot of advantage because of the disturbances we are experiencing from this Arab Sagar. But mostly there is a lot of change due to the climate. As far as the agriculture scenario is concerned, during 1947, when we experienced our independence, when India became independent, at that time the situation was worst. The total food grain production was 48 million metric ton, and we were net importer, and masses have to wait that the ship will reach to destinations, and then ultimately the food will be distributed through PDS system. But see, at that time, the population was hardly 34 crores, which is now 146 crores. So that was the situation of population. Even with that much of less population, 34 crores, the 48 million metric ton food grains was not sufficient, and we were net importer. So then the journey of research and development in agriculture started, and real time through the Green Revolution, a lot of developments were made, and because of the all the research and development under NARS system by the ICR institutions or state agriculture universities, by along with the farmers, today we are very comfortable that we are having 146 crores of population, and the food grain production in the country has already crossed 350 million metric ton. 350 against 48, 350 million metric ton. So this is the journey of 77 years or 78 years, that there is a quantum jump in the food grain production. But along with the food grains, let's also see the situation of other areas in agriculture, like horticulture. So horticulture, you can see the total horticulture production during the time of independence was less than 30 million metric tons. Vegetables less than 15, maybe around 12. Fruits less than 10. And the other covered by the spices, seed spices, medicinal plants, aromatic plants, floriculture, ornamental plants. So altogether, the total horticulture production in the country was less than 30 million metric ton. And you might have, I think, when we were young, there was a quotation that ek anar sau bimar, that was usually said, because we know why it has been propagated. The reason, the nutritive value of pomegranate, what level of antioxidant the fruit is having, but there was no production, no availability in pomegranate. But now see the change, drastic change, a progressive change in the country. Western part of Rajasthan, let me quote example. When I was assistant professor at Durgapura under DNSK RAU in 1990s, the total pomegranate cultivation area under pomegranate in Rajasthan was 250 or 300 hectares. But do you know what is the area today, as on today? It is more than 18,000 hectares. And the western part, including the districts like Badmer, Jalore, Jaisalmer, Sirohi, Jodhpur, Falodi, Bikaner, mainly two districts, Badmer and Jalore, they have become the bowl for pomegranate cultivation. Pomegranate is not limited to Maharashtra. It has reached to Rajasthan, western part, Gujarat, and several other states also. So now the quote which was Ek Anar So Bimar is reversed. Now we have, you can see how much availability of the pomegranate is there in the market. Farmers are not getting good price. And the pockets which were treated as desert, they have become the bowl for pomegranate cultivation. So similarly, in vegetables, there are several examples that from 12 million metric ton, we have already crossed the total vegetable production more than 215 million metric tons. And same is the situation with fruits, where the total production of fruits, different fruits in India was less than 10 million metric ton, has already crossed 100 million metric ton or 110 million metric ton. Same is the picture with floriculture or ornamental crops. We are very good exporter of anthurium, up to some extent the orchids, and several the other flowers like jasmine. The garlands of fresh garlands of jasmines are being exported from the country, from southern part, in and around from Coimbatore. So there is a lot of change. Cut flowers, up to some extent, are being exported from the country. And similarly, I would like to also quote some example related to the spices, seed spices. See and compare. India is known a land of the spices, and because of the region of spices, Vasco da Gama landed in Cochin. And the spices for which we were known was black pepper and cardamom. But now see, what is the scenario of black pepper and cardamom? And what is the scenario of seed spices like cumin, coriander, fennel, fenugreek, ajwain, others? There is a lot of change. The crops for which the country was known, and because of that, the Vasco da Gama landed in Cochin. Now, see, there are very tough competition across the world, and the competitors are Vietnam in case of black pepper and cardamom. They are competing like anything in productivity, in quality, in export front, in the international markets. So the black pepper export is, I think, less than 1,500 crores annual export. Whereas when I was Director Seed Spices Ajmer, on the first day itself, on 1st of September 2012, in the evening, I asked my scientist, can you tell me the status of spices, seed spices in India? And I came to know that after feeding such a big country in 2012, maybe the population could have been around not 146 crores, at that time maybe 120 crore approximately. So I was told that after feeding such a big nation, we have export of cumin around 280 crores annual export from the country. And you know, today, the annual export of cumin, one crop, is 5,700 crores after feeding 146 crore population. So, and as scientist, as a director, as I worked there, usually I calculate the potential of export, because we are the only one country in world which India is growing only the cumin crop. The one country was there, Syria. Now Syria, there is no Syria. It is almost collapsed. So the entire production is being made only in India, and we are the only country in the world growing cumin crop successfully. and that limited to western part of the country, western Rajasthan or selected districts of Gujarat. So there is a limited production. But see the consumption, domestic consumption, and also the export from 280 crores to 5,700 crores. Same is the picture of, I would like to compare black pepper versus the red chili. Red chili powder. Vasco da Gama came with the chili and he exchanged with the farmers, black pepper versus chili, green chili or red chili. We developed the variety later. But you see, the crop which was not there, for which the country was not known, the export of red chili powder from the country last year, it has reached 8,500 crores. Annual export, only one commodity. And in my opinion, and in my perception, we have the highest domestic consumption of red chili or red chili powder in the country itself. And after that, we have this much of export. So you can imagine that what change has been made in the country in different areas. Although I have already told, there are new destinations, there are new competitors, new production areas, and they are competing with India in several fronts. That is another picture. But a lot of progress has been made in horticulture, and the total horticulture production from less than 30 million metric ton has reached about 370 million metric tons this year. So this is, and see, under what situation? The situation is land is decreasing day by day. Water resources are depleting. Very limited water resources are available. And climate change. This is the biggest challenge for the country. New threats in terms of biotic stresses and also in terms of abiotic stresses. Invasive pests like black thrips in case of chili, already Tuta absoluta, pinworm in case of tomato. We have seen several others. We have never seen that potato was sometime will be facing another virus called apical leaf curl virus, which was not there in the past in 70s or 80s or 90s, but it is more devastating than the common virus damaging the crop of potato. So there are several biotic and abiotic stresses which is also posing a lot of threats, lot of challenges to the entire production system of horticulture or agriculture. But what was not there during the time of independence? There was no mechanization. Everything was manual, animal-based. And now the mechanization has already touched around 40 to 45%. But what kind of mechanization is required in Indian scenario? Because the biggest challenge, the major challenge under Indian agriculture is small holdings. And under small holdings, big machinery, big tractors. You go US, Australia, even other countries, you will find tractors with a very high horsepower, 250, 300 HP. But under Indian situation, even 40 HP tractor is oversized because looking to the use efficiency, the spending made by the farmer and the output given by the tractor. So looking to that all, but almost the biggest challenge is the machinery in case of agriculture usually do not suits or suitable for efficient mechanization under small holdings. So what kind of mechanization we really required in India is miniature type of mechanization is required, looking to our small holdings. So that is one. Otherwise, you see why there is a gap in cost of cultivation between US or Australia or other big countries where the farm size is very big, more than 1,000 hectares, 500 hectares, 300 hectares, or several thousand hectares. The basic challenge is we have lot of use of labor, and thereby there is an increase in the overall cost of cultivation. But because of the use of mechanization in western part or other developed countries, the cost of cultivation is less, and that is the biggest challenge in international market when we are exporting anything. So mechanization front also, a lot of progress has been made. At the time of independence, there was negligible mechanization, but as on today, after 70, 80 years, the mechanization is around 45% or maybe more. But see the water use efficiency. We were only relying upon flood irrigation or surface irrigation, but now the use efficiency of water has increased and we are above 40%. The water use efficiency because of even Punjab, Haryana, they are largely using laser levelers. Even at my home in village, we have laser leveler and we are doing the job for the entire village. So at least if you cannot use the sprinklers or drip irrigation system, micro irrigation systems, I should say, so at least you can go with your laser leveling. You can save 15 to 20% water over flood irrigation if the land is undulated. And if you want to go with surface irrigation, even 20% water can be saved if your fields are well prepared by using the laser leveler. Then use of zigzag channels, raised bed technology, drip irrigation, low pressure drip irrigation, or sprinklers, rain guns, whatever. Or now it is total change. When I was heading AU Jodhpur as Vice Chancellor, I worked here at IRI for 14 years in the Center of Protected Cultivation Technology. And it was the first attempt with Israel for establishing collaboration in high-tech horticulture in 1998 to 2012. So even that kind of the precision system we could not install at IRI, but now when in Jodhpur, we developed the precision farming system where we were using the tensiometers linked with sensors. And one thing more, in western part of India, Rajasthan, the radiation level is very high. And I think you all know that most of the components, the laterals, the drip lines, or the sprinkler major main pipes, or all components are made with black color HDPE. But you know the color characteristics. During the summer months, April, May, June, July, if the electricity has gone at 11 a.m. and it will come again at around 3 or 4, and you are using an automatic starter to run the system. So you can imagine the remaining water usually which remains inside the main pipes, either the sprinkler system, main pipes, or in drip system laterals also. It becomes so hot. The temperature goes more than 70 degrees centigrade in 3-4 hours. And when the light will come, the electricity will come, the starter, the automatic starter will start. The first spray will be of around more than 70 degree temperature water you are spraying on your crop. So what will be the situation of your crop? Then same time, if you are running the drip irrigation system and 70 degree or above temperature water is going to the root zone, your crop will collapse. It will be showing wilting. So then what we did there at AU Jodhpur, first time in the country, we converted the entire components, the laterals, the main pipes of this the sprinkler drip sprinkler system, white in color, and only one change in color from black to white reduced the temperature. Around 15 degree difference was observed. So looking to the region and area, we have to develop the technology that can only work and that can give efficient results, and we can recover the money what we spend on the system, and we can harvest the potential of the crop. That is possibility. So, but everything thing was automated, and now we are talking about AI or the IT or ICT in agriculture. So that is also there. So what I should say, I am saying that lot of the improvement has been made in overall the water use efficiency. Same time, nitrogen use efficiency has also increased. It was very less because everything was broadcasting, but now the even nitrogen use efficiency has gone around 40% or more. But now we are entering into the in the time of the nano fertilizers, nano DAP, nano urea, nano NPK, and we are talking about the use of drones, spraying such chemicals by using drones. So a lot of progress has been made from the past to the present one, but we have to see land is decreasing, water resources are depleting, and population is increasing. Climate change is there, food habits are changing, and there are tough competitors in different commodities and crops across the world because we are open. We can grow anything anywhere and we can export anywhere. That we are now in this era. So under this situation, we have to see how much land has been sacrificed due to development. We cannot stop the development. We cannot stop industrialization, urbanization, network of roads, dedicated freight corridors, quadrilaterals. These all are required to develop the nation. But almost the land from 143 million hectare has come down to 138 million hectare because of this development and progress. So accordingly, we have to work. Population from 34 crores to 146 crores, and the projected population by 2050 will be around 170 to 175 crores. That will be the projected population, 170 to 175 crores. So you can see present is okay. We were net importer in front of agriculture, in area of agriculture. But now we are contributing 2.5% of the world agriculture export. And this year or last year, our agriculture export has already gone more than 50 or 55 billion US dollars, almost 4.5 lakh crores or more. This much has been generated through export, through agriculture. So after feeding such a big population, 146 crores, we have handsome export. And presently, again, around 50 to 55% population of the country directly, indirectly getting jobs in agriculture. Either it is industry, processing industries, markets, mandis, or the farm laborers, or anything. So almost 55% population of the country is still relying upon agriculture, and we are contributing around 18% to the GDP and 2.5% in the export, international export through agriculture. And this is not less. That 4.5 lakh crore is only through agriculture. But the challenge is for future only. That what will be the requirement by 2050 when the population will be 170 or 175 crore. The water is depleting, either the groundwater or the surface water resources are depleting. Climate change is there. A lot of new problems are coming up, and food habit is very fastly changing, and there is a lot of tough competition on production areas and the international trade. So under this situation, we have to plan future agriculture and also the decreasing land also. This is a very important area. We have to see the land also. So what technology really we will be needing? What technology can play role? There should be some balance also, because we have to see from the past that in the past we were mostly relying upon food grains, chapatis, but now the dry food in terms of food grains, in terms of flour, atta is decreasing. It has come down. But now the middle class or rich class, they are mostly going towards fresh food, either fruits or vegetables. So thereby in future also, there will be an increasing trend of demand from horticulture. So in my personal opinion, the horticulture production, which is at present is 370 million metric ton, by 2050, we will be needing almost 750 to 800 million metric ton of horticulture production. That includes fruits, vegetables, flowers, ornamental crops, spices, seed spices, or medicinal plants, aromatic plants, whatever. So this is a projected estimate that this will be the requirement in horticulture, looking to the climate change, looking to the changing food habit also, processing also, everything. This has been calculated. And also food grain production, which is presently 350 or 351, whatever, the total requirement by 2050 will be more than 500, around 530 to 550 million metric tons food grain we will be needing by 2050. So, but what kind of technology will be requiring at that time? That is the question of discussion, and what challenges we will be facing. So the technology, precision farming, can play a greater role, either in case of food grains or it more suits to horticulture. Precision farming and horticulture, yes, can change the picture, the scenario of productivity and also quality. And same time, can also play a crucial role in the food grain production. But the main point is in horticulture, the basic challenge is quality planting material, either seeds, indigenous seeds, because in case of vegetables, at present, if I start talking about my area, protected cultivation, cucumber, one seed of cucumber, parthenocarpic cucumber, it is coming from MNCs, the seed companies, European seed companies. One seed is costing around 6 to 10 rupees, one seed. Whereas the cucumber we are growing under open monoecious type, the price of the seed is maybe 10 to 20 paisa per seed. So this is the cap. So same time, the varieties which we are growing under protected environment, tomato, cherry tomato, parthenocarpic cucumber, capsicum, or maybe this parthenocarpic eggplant, or other crops, whatever we want to grow. So, but we are very fortunate that we started work at IRI, and now at least some varieties have been developed for protected cultivation. We have the answer, either the Pusa parthenocarpic cucumber 6, it is a OP. Then we have come out with a hybrid also, Pusa parthenocarpic hybrid 1, that is also there. In case of cherry tomato, we have 2 or 3 varieties from the IRI. Then in case of tomato, Pusa Raksit is the variety which is indeterminate type for suitable for greenhouse cultivation. But by now, there is no breakthrough in development of varieties in capsicum, in sweet pepper, because this is a very important crop. And the varieties from the private sector companies, marvelous, they are excellent. So some crops need attention, like parthenocarpic, your eggplant, brinjal, suited to greenhouse cultivation, capsicum, specialty melons, or parthenocarpic or gynoecious bitter gourd. These kind of crops need attention for future research and development through development of varieties or hybrids or whatever. But same time, even under open field, what kind of precision system we are required to adopt? Raised bed technology, equipped with drip, mulching. What kind of mulches we are using? Synthetic mulch. But now the time has come that we must find the alternative to synthetic plastic. When I entered this in the joint program with Israel at CPCT IRI, I was advocating the potential use of plastic in agriculture. But now, after 30 years almost, I am advocating how to minimize the use of synthetic plastic into agriculture, because the top priority is safety of the environment pollution. So this is the topmost priority. So what could be the alternative to synthetic mulching, synthetic plastic we are using in mulching? Organic or the biodegradable, compostable. These kind of plastics we have to develop, we are required to use in agriculture, in horticulture, along with raised bed, drip irrigation. Same time, suppose we were advocating plastic low tunnel technology for protected cultivation, off-season cultivation of vegetables in northern India, some parts of Himachal, Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, some parts of UP. And now I was not knowing that this technology, one technology will spread in such a big area. We trained a lot of farmers from Haryana, Punjab. And now the technology, plastic low tunnel technology, is being used by farmers in winter season, more than 50,000 acres, almost 20,000 hectares. Farmers are using this technology, but what cladding material for covering the low tunnels they are using? That is all transparent synthetic plastic. Maybe the microns of 25 to 50 micron. But now the time has come that we must see an alternative to this synthetic plastic as a covering material for making low tunnels, and that the alternative can be the non-woven material. We can use at least non-woven material, and Reliance is the leader in making non-woven material in the country or even in the world. So that are some points. So then again, pneumatic seeding. When we were working at IRI, we were the first in the country. We imported pneumatic seeder from Italy in 2003 or 4, something. And you see, now a colonel from army, retired colonel from army, Colonel Deswal, he has transformed the area in Nentis or European carrot or orange carrot cultivation in UP. And he has become the king by using pneumatic seeding and also showing of carrot through machines. So pneumatic seeding can play a crucial role. I can quote one more example. Presently, we are growing cumin. We have limited area because of the reason. The reason is alternaria blight is the biggest challenge. We do not see wilt, fusarium wilt as a challenge. We can manage, but alternaria blight cannot be managed. We need area, mild winter, dry weather. Okay, that is required. But you see how much seed the farmers are using in cumin. 12 to 14 kg, 12 to 14 kg per hectare. But if we start sowing cumin by pneumatic seeders, by priming or pelleting, the seed rate can be drastically reduced to 6 to 7 kg. So how much cumin we can save if we have area around 10 lakh hectare under cumin cultivation in both the states, Rajasthan and Gujarat. So you can imagine how much cumin we can save and we can export, or our population, domestic population, can enjoy their benefits through domestic consumption. So these are some areas really where we have to work hard in future. And also the huge efficiency of natural resources, water, fertilizer, seed, these all are required to be paid attention by and large in future. So for making the advancement, and also whatever the winter school topic related to AI, yes, this is the future. AI is going to play a crucial role even in plant breeding. AI can play a role, not only in nutrition, not only in harvesting or other areas, but these technologies are going to play a greater role. But there are other areas also, like pollination management. In the past, we in horticulture, we were not knowing much about the pollinizers and pollinators. But now the time has come that we must strongly work and advocate these areas. And as a project coordinator, when I was from 2019 to 2022, we transformed the program of the AICRP on honeybees and pollinators, and we included the pollination management under protected environment. Otherwise, it was not started yet. We started thereafter only. So there is a need that what roles the pollinizers are playing in horticulture, or what role the pollinators are playing in horticulture. Then the another very important point is processing, value addition. By now, we are very weak, where only few percent processing is being done, maybe around 5%. But in Western part, developed countries, or even our Southeast Asian nations, it is on very large scale. So processing also can play a very, very important role in future in agriculture, in horticulture, and some more areas are there which can be discussed through discussions. I think because today I am not feeling well, and it will be better that you can ask questions, and I will try my best to answer the questions as much as possible. So with this, just a introduction about the little bit about the agriculture scenario, past versus present, and what will be the requirement in the last 25 years. We can also calculate the projections of 20 by 2100, what will be the requirement. So it is better that I should stop here, and some another time I can make a, a presentation on high-tech horticulture or protected cultivation separately, but it will be better. I am stopping here, and now it's open that you can ask questions as much as possible. But first, you one by one, you tell about yourself, your name, and from which organization or what you are doing presently, and then ask your question. I will try my best to answer the question. Thank you. Taxi.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. As I would like to say that the participants, please drop your questions on the chat box. And Sir, till then, I have one question that, despite having diverse agroclimatic conditions and vast cultivative lands, and India still imports oil seeds and edible oils worth million of crores. So, how can we
Yes, I got
effectively?
your question, Shakshi.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
answer. See, you must know one thing. We have made progress in oil seeds also. Productivity has increased, area has increased. But see the first thing, per capita consumption, per person, per year consumption. At the time of independence, 1950s or 1947, per person per year, the oil seed, the edible oil consumption was 8 kg. At that time, we were calculating by kg, but now liters. Okay. But now, because of changing food habits, it has increased 16 to 17 liter per year per person. This is the one thing. And at the time of independence, the population was 34 crores. And as of today, the population is 146 crores. And I am very firmly saying productivity has increased in different crops. We are growing rapeseed and mustard. Rajasthan is bowl along with other states. We are growing soybean. We are growing groundnut. We are growing your sunflower, limited area, safflower, sesame. Several crops are being grown in terms of oil seeds. And now government of India is giving a lot of emphasis on mission mode, the palm oil, palm mission. But the question is eating habits, food change, change food habits change. This has drastically made increase the requirement, and you can calculate from yourself also from morning to evening how much tala hua we are eating every day. Okay, so then you can calculate. So this year the import of edible oil has almost 1,70,000 crores. छोटी मोटी जो स्टेट्स हैं उनका एनुअल बजट नहीं आ रहा. हरियाणा का बजट देखेंगे ना, एनुअल बजट, तो I don't think it will be 1,70,000 crores annual budget. So this is just we are spending only on the import of edible oil, and the major challenge. And government of India is very strongly emphasizing through oil seed mission on this area. But now the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, has given one slogan. I think you might have heard, and we must know each those who are with us today online. प्राइम मिनिस्टर ने कहा है लोग तला हुआ कम खाएं. उसका कारण है सेहत से जुड़ा हुआ, हेल्थ से जुड़ा हुआ है. और एक सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है वेस्टेज ऑफ फूड. वो भी सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है. इतना ब्याह शादियां होती, इतने प्रोग्राम्स होते हैं और चीजें हैं, उनमें खाना भी बहुत वेस्ट होता है, उसमें भी एडिबल ऑयल लगता है. सो दिस इज अनदर चैलेंज फॉर इंडियन कंडीशंस. उसको भी देखना चाहिए. और लोगों को आज यंगस्टर्स कितना हार्ट अटैक होते हैं, फिजिकल एक्सरसाइज है नहीं, उस चीज को ध्यान में रखते हुए आई थिंक इन माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन है, मेरा ये मानना है कि हमें तला हुआ कम खाना चाहिए, फ्राइड कम यूज करना चाहिए. एक तो वो है. बाकी हमारी तरफ से जो रिसर्च में है, institutions and they are working hard, and government of India is through states along with the states is very strongly emphasizing on oil seed mission, and we want that we should how to minimize the import in front of edible oils.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for answering this question. And there are some few questions in the chat box.
You हाँ बताइए, बताते जाइए.
Yes, sir. There is Varudhini. She is asking, please throw some light on this. Please throw some light on strategies to increase processing in fruits, as a lot of wastage is happening.
अब you see, very recently we participated in horticulture congress at US Bangalore, and scientists, mainly the women scientists, they presented outstanding work. related to processing. So I think she has a very important question. Firstly, varieties. Varieties are important. She has asked very important questions. We are leader in tomato cultivation, but we are net importer of tomato pulp from abroad because of processing requirement. By now, we were not having any variety for processing type of tomato, but now we have developed variety from IRI, Pusa, Paririkshit tomato. So we need varieties which are suitable for processing type. Okay, that is the first requirement. And then Government of India is strongly supporting youngsters for establishment of processing industries, either small scale or medium scale or large scale. And this is a very important area where youths can come forward. But the first is crop variety, suitable variety. Unless until we have the suitable variety and we are required to make novel products, okay, then only we can go forward. Next.
Sir, next is from unknown name, but what is the future food? Is this dry processed food or natural fruit or vegetable? Because land is limited and population is increases.
You see, I think both the things will go together. Dry food means food use of food grains in terms of atta or flour or like anything, pulses. But fresh food, fruits, processed is going to increase in processed form, either fruits or vegetables. Vegetables in dry form, powder form, or also fruits in processed forms has the future that their use is likely to increase in future.
Okay, sir. And there is Vikas Kharb, and he's saying that I am a PhD student from PAU, and one of the major problem, especially in vegetable production, that farmers face is good quality and disease resistance. So, budget-friendly seed availability.
Yes, that I have already discussed. When I was discussing, I made this point. This is the biggest challenge, planting material and seed. Because in case of vegetables, 85 to 90% is governed by private seed companies. Only the public sector institutions, they are 15 to 10%, 10 to 15% only. But now, even PAU, IRI, IHR Bangalore, IIBR Varanasi, they are doing excellent work. And the only problem is सीड प्रोडक्शन. अब जैसे विकास ने बात की, आईआरआई ने कुकुम्बर की पार्थेनोकार्पिक कुकुम्बर की वैरायटी तैयार कर दी. विकास आए, आईआरआई से एमओयू साइन करे, उसकी एक जेन्युइन फीस है वो दे, एंड ही कैन स्टार्ट हिज ओन बिजनेस ऑफ पार्थेनोकार्पिक कुकुम्बर सीड प्रोडक्शन. और ये 10 रुपए का सीड नहीं बेचे, अगर विकास 3 या 4 रुपए का भी सीड बेचेगा तो टोटल ओपी वैरायटी पे जो ब्रेक इवन आती है, जो कॉस्ट ऑफ कल्टीवेशन आती है, कॉस्ट ऑफ सीड प्रोडक्शन आती है, वो 1 रुपया आती है. और हाइब्रिड के ऊपर वो 1.5 से 2 रुपए आएगी. तो विकास 2 से 3 रुपए का सीड भी अगर किसानों को बेचेगा तो बहुत अच्छी अर्निंग ये कर पाएगा. तो वी नीड यूज पार्टिसिपेशन इन सीड प्रोडक्शन प्रोग्राम्स.
Okay, sir. And there is one more question that, sir, in Jharkhand we can grow pomegranate. If yes, which variety is suitable for this location? And ये पूछा गया है डॉक्टर मनीष कुमार केवीके कोडरमा.
कोडरमा. कोडरमा.
हाँ, yes, sir.
हाँ. एक तो इसको ये करना पड़ेगा, ही शुड कॉन्टेक्ट द नियरेस्ट केवीके साइंटिस्ट. वहां की थोड़ी सी क्लाइमेटिक कंडीशंस क्या, प्रॉब्लम्स क्या है. ही कैन ग्रो, आई नो, ही कैन ग्रो pomegranate, the variety, common variety, your bhagwa, super bhagwa. They may also, these varieties can be grown over there. The only problem, if there are existing orchards of pomegranate, वो देखना पड़ेगा कहीं वहां पे बैक्टीरियल ब्लाइट की प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं एग्जिस्ट करती है उसमें झारखंड में. अगर बैक्टीरियल ब्लाइट ऑर्चार्ड्स में है तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ वहां की कंडीशंस फेवरेबल है. तो ऐसी सिचुएशन में He is required to use only the plants raised through tissue culture on. And now there are a lot of companies producing pomegranate tissue culture plants. Okay, but he can cultivate. I think pomegranate can be cultivated in Kodarma. There is no problem. You have to see the aerial problems and soil borne problems. क्योंकि अभी pomegranate राजस्थान में हो रहा है, मैंने बताया बाउल बन गया, लेकिन नीचे नेमेटोड्स हैं, टर्माइट्स हैं, सैंडी सॉइल है, पानी की प्रॉब्लम है, और ऊपर से अगर गुट्टी वाले पौधे लाएंगे वेजिटेटिव वाले, अगर ब्लाइट आ गया तो बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. तो टिश्यू कल्चर वाले पौधे, तो दोनों तरीके से चीजों को देख के ही हमें आगे बढ़ना है.
और सर एक है, आई एम ऋषिता श्रीवास्तवा, अ पीएचडी स्टूडेंट फ्रॉम गुरुकुल कांगरी डीम टू बी यूनिवर्सिटी हरिद्वार उत्तराखंड इन द डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बॉटनी एंड माइक्रोबायोलॉजी, डॉक्टरेट डिग्री इन द microbiology. So she is asking that what the aspect in agriculture field with nanoparticles in this topic.
नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज हो रहा है ना, नैनो फर्टिलाइजर्स आ रहे हैं, नैनो फॉर्मुलेशन पेस्टिसाइड फंजीसाइड की बन सकती हैं, और हम उसमें उनके यूज एफिशिएंसी बढ़ा सकते हैं और डोज को कम कर सकते हैं. तो नैनो टेक्नोलॉजी कैन प्ले ए क्रूशियल रोल इन फ्यूचर एग्रीकल्चर. चाहे
Yes, sir.
इंसेक्टिसाइड हो, फंजीसाइड हो, फर्टिलाइजर्स हो, कुछ भी हो.
Mhm.
हम्म.
Yes, sir, I guess that's it for the questions. And with this, I thank you so much, sir, for the
वो क्वेश्चंस
insight.
नहीं थे, तो बहुत सारे पार्टिसिपेंट थे, 270 सूट दिखा रहे, इतने पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, कोई क्वेश्चन ही नहीं पूछ रहे.
Sir, I guess the last one we have is Rishita, and I have
ओके.
already, yes, sir.
ओके,
And
देन थैंक यू साक्षी. एंड
thank you so much.
ओके.
Okay, sir, I guess there is two more questions. That hello, good evening, sir. I am Anurag Gautam. I am currently pursuing PhD at. Okay, he's just telling about himself. And there is one more question, that what are the negative effects of nanoplasty?
दैट आई डोंट नो व्हाट शी वांट टू से.
Okay. And sir, there is one more question, that in tissue culture raised plant, we also reported black spots in the base of microshoots, which lead to vitrification.
दैट वी हैव टू क्लैरिफाई, दैट वी हैव टू क्लैरिफाई फ्रॉम द टिश्यू कल्चर लैब्स. ओके.
Sir, I guess that's it for.
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच. चलिए, थैंक यू.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, sir, and thank you for telling us so much informative talk, and like your vast practical and field-based experience was clearly reflected throughout your session, and thank you so much for making this session highly engaging and impactful. And sir, we truly appreciate the way you explained the increasing population demand for fruits and vegetable over time, and your reflections on your tenure as a assistant professor at Durgapura in the 1990s were especially enlightening. And the comparison you shared, when horticulture covered only 250 to 300 hectares, then how now
पॉमग्रेनेट
expanded
का
to.
बता रहा था मैं, पॉमग्रेनेट का
Yes, sir. Yes,
प्रोडक्शन
sir.
राजस्थान में 250-300 हेक्टेयर था, जो
Yes,
अभी
sir.
अठारह
And
हजार हेक्टेयर है.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a very remarkable growth of the sector, and the powerful quote you mentioned, that earlier one earner support,
एक अनार 100 बीमार.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
इट हैज
And
रिवर्स.
today the
अब
situation
अनार तो
has
100 है,
reversed.
बीमार एक ही है.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with this, sir, thank you so much for
ओके,
uh,
थैंक यू, थैंक यू.
connecting today. Thank you so much, sir.
ओके, नाइस.
And with this, now we are pleased to introduce Dr. Vinita Kumari ma'am, who is a Deputy Director at the National Institute of Agriculture Extension Management, Manage. And Dr. Vinita Kumari is a distinguished expert in the field of gender studies, agriculture extension, and capacity building, with rich experience in promoting gender inclusive approaches in agriculture and rural development. Her work has significantly contributed to empowering women, strengthening extension systems, and integrating gender perspectives into agriculture policies and programs. We are honored to have her with us today. We now respectfully invite Dr. Vinita ma'am to graciously address the gathering and deliver her insightful lecture. We look forward to learning from her valuable experience and expertise. We welcome you, ma'am, and the platform is all yours.
Thank you so much, and a very good evening to all the participants, and also wish you all a happy new year. We are still in the first week of new year, so and it's good that the new year you have got an opportunity to for a 21 days program where you'll be learning various aspects related to agriculture, different dimensions. So one of the important dimensions that I will be touching upon today is on rooftop garden and microgreens. So, as we all know that nowadays we are utilizing our unutilized space like our uh, I understand all that also that rooftop is not so common these days because as we are in a flat system, roof terrace it's becoming some rare things now because hardly we get access to roof and terrace. But still, there are still many, particularly those who are in small cities and towns. They have their own house. They do have access to roofs and terrace and other open space where they can nurture their habit hobby of growing their own food. And so and in cities and towns we have the culture of villas. So those who are in villas, they also can realize this dream and nurture this hobby. So rooftop garden, why it's becoming so important these days, because we all know that we are I would like to share my screen here. Is it visible to everyone? Sorry, I'm on the last slide.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. Well, because we were mainly why we are shifting our focus, our hobby towards from aesthetic plant towards vegetable and food related plants because we want a safe food for ourselves, for our children, for our family. In this time when lot of health risks are emerging, so in order to protect ourselves, give us a better healthy life and food, good nutrition, safe food. This is becoming very important. Otherwise, traditionally, conventionally, people were more attracted towards aesthetic plantations, flowers, different creepers, and other show plants, indoor and outdoor plants. They were more interested in that. But now the focus is shifting towards growing food in those available space, which was earlier used for flower cultivation and other show plants. So, and it is also a very good means of utilizing your time in a very the activity which releases your stress. It relieves your stress. It acts as a stress burst, and it also is bringing more impact on the environment also, because the more greenery we are creating in and around, we all know that it creates more. It becomes addresses the global challenge of global warming, climate change, that's all, and also giving us more oxygen in and around us. So there are several benefits why we are people are more now shifting towards the practice of growing their food in their, whether terrace or it is their backyard or a poultry yard or a balcony or even a window sill to the stair below the staircase, which is where whatever available space is there, So they can do. So here in rooftop garden, usually it will be carried out on the terrace, on the roof. It is also called as terrace gardening. So for that, the most important thing is that we need to have a very strong structural thing, because the one of the disadvantage of having terrace gardening or rooftop gardening is that the pots and the plants that we put on that will create lot of, and due to that the water seepage and other the structural damage that may have. So that's why we need to, firstly we need to have a very strong structural support for that, and which can bear that much of load. So that is the most important. So that's why when people opt for rooftop garden, they also take the suggestions and opinions of some experts who are into civil lines, so that they can analyze the location and the structural analysis, and then they can come out with here whether one can go with it or not, because it takes a lot of load for a long continuous time. So that is very important aspect. Also we need to have a growing media. We need to have to select our media, and several medias are available other than what we know, the soil. In addition to soil, we also need the compost, we need the manures, we and in addition to all these things, it also requires an adequate amount of aeration, proper light, um, adequate moisture, all these things we know. So this is some layout where you can just think that this is a row wise. If you are going in the terrace row wise, this is how you can plan the layout. So it's just for an understanding. And here also they are different, and it is not necessarily that we need to have a very beautiful and a very good containers to carry start with it. Now, although you can see here, sir, all the used tins, all these used tins has been mm, um, used as a container, as a pot holder, plant holders. You can see that these type of polygrow bags are also very much used these days. And one of the advantage of using these polygrow bags is that it is more comfortable to shift from one place to another. In addition to the bulky, the heavy ones that these muddy pots and these terracotta pots we are using, then it is much heavier than this. So it will still reduce the load or the weight on the surface of the terrace. So these are some of the other advantages. Any used containers like paint bucket, thermocol box, any such things can be used. Not necessarily we should buy and use it. All these are things. So these are some of the options that are available. Plastic drums and any type of PVC pipes are also used with a hole in that, where we can use it as a home in a conventional hydroponic system. We can create out of that. Any used things can be used for these purposes. As you can see here, these pipes are being used to grow leafy vegetables like a hydroponic unit. So this is some of the things. And here you can see that in some used buckets are there, some wooden, some boxes are there, some grow bags are there. So these are some of the options that are available. So I'm just pictures I'm just quickly running through. And we even the nowadays jute bags, hemps, all these, anything that can hold moisture is good enough to be used as a container. And for the filling, how do we fill it? So we start with the base material, that is can be coconut shells. As you can see, these coconut shells, dried leaves, all those garden waste that you can see falling on the ground, that can be used as a base layer. And then we put some compost, two parts of compost, and then one part of soil. And then also we will put one part of farmyard manure. So this is how we prepare the container. And then you can see in these pictures that they are is being prepared by filling with this coconut coir, and then compost, where two parts compost, one part soil, and one part family earth manure is how they prepare the pot. And this is regarding the seed sowing, that proper distance can needs to be maintained, so that each when the seed germinates, it gets enough space to grow. So it has to be spread in proper distance. And some of the vermicompost, because nowadays and particularly when we do it at home, we are more interested in using organic manures than the chemical manures. So these are some of the different types of organic manures that can be used. Like vermicompost is very common, very popular, and cheap also, not so costly, expensive also. Whatever the kitchen waste is generated from vegetables, fruits, peels is a very good organic manure, can be decomposed at household level. We have a household manure that we can make in such a through kitchen waste and these peels. We have cow dung cakes, fish meal, poultry manure, different types of oil cakes that is from the milling oil mills that can be used, and different types of course, bacteria and fungi that are good bacteria and fungi, and even the goat manure. These are some of the manures that is being used, and this is just a calendar, you can say, as per the month what type of vegetables need. So you will get plenty of such images and information in Google. So these are just the pictures, so I will be quickly going through, because I have to come on microgreens also. That is another important thing that I want to discuss. So this is how these propagation and seedlings will grow. You are already having the idea, and I also understand that most of you who are attending the session are from agriculture or allied discipline. So it will not be so easy if I go skip some of the things. So these are some of the, and of course when we are doing the, we require to create some support structures also. Sometimes it can be a cane or a bamboo sort of thing. Sometimes it may be a ring like a thing. Sometimes it can be a some just a nylon thread to for the creepers to come grow up, or any such a support, because particularly for the creepers and for those climbers and those that are not so firm and rigid things, we need to, and that too also, when they come to a certain height, we need to provide them certain structure so that they grow accordingly, and just not in any other fashion. So if we want to grow them in particular fashion, we need to provide them structural support to allow them to grow in that particular or structure. And some of the gardening tools which are for weed management also, there are the important thing is that we need to keep the soil aerated and porous, so that there is air circulation. Sometimes when the soil is almost 1 month, 2 months old, it sinks and it becomes very compact. So air circulation will not happen, and that is where the plant starts dying. Getting damaged, so because of this, so we need to continuously dig and turn the soil layer so that a proper aeration is done. These are some of the tools, the gardening tools that is required. Irrigations for nutrient management also. Nowadays a lot of organic bio nutrients are also available that can be used in addition to the like in government is promoting these days natural farming, and in this natural farming, Jivamrut and the Amrit, these are all very important. Neem oil, neem cakes, and all these things are like cow-based things, gomutra, and all these are the thing that is being used in natural farming for the nutrient management. So this is being very much being popularized these days to use these type of natural and organic mm, materials for managing the nutrient requirements of the plants. And some of the kitchen and bio waste that can also be used. If you're decomposing the kitchen waste, you get a liquid nitrogen, liquid fertilizer, and also the waste that is decomposed, that can, after drying, it becomes a very good manure. So these are some of the other things that can be used, and these are other some low cost structure that these small economic polyhouse structures are created to provide shade, because once if it is in balcony, it's still they get partial sunlight and partial shade. But if it is in a terrace, open terrace, then we have to maintain proper sunlight also. Otherwise, in the hot summer, the plants will not be able to survive. And even in the winters or rainy season, when there's too much low sunlight, even less sunlight is not good for this. So it will create at least optimum exposure of the plants to sunlight. So some of the diseases that you might be aware of, all these diseases, and these some of the medicines that can control, biopesticides that can be used to control the diseases are the following, where you can see that some of these we often see these type of powdery mildew and all these on the over the leaves, so which are indication of the disease that's happened in the fruits or the plants or vegetables. So that can be very well managed through biopesticides, which are being also being very much used these days, for those who want to go organic or natural way. But this is very important for them, even the trichoderma and all. Mhm. So some of the pictures that people had shared. So these are, we had also undertaken a research study in Hyderabad, where we wanted to understand that to what extent these urban garden, urban farming practices are able to compensate or the food and nutritional needs of the urban farming practitioners. So some of the pictures were taken during our research study also. So we are taking some 100 active urban gardening practitioners who were growing some fruits, vegetables, some even mushrooms, and even one or two cases we had found that they had the artificial fishery structure also, pond for fishery cultivation also. So these were some of the pictures have been taken from those studies. So, and here if we come to some of the tips that we need to keep in mind for a better terrace garden farming, that it is we should be ready to soil our hands in the soil is first thing, that is very much important. We should not hesitate in putting our hands into the soil is first thing. And we need also to have some time, just like we schedule time for other activities, we need to have certain times allocated for this also, because plants also need at least 10-15 minutes of time every day, depending upon the size of the garden or the plants, the number of plants that we have maintained. So for watering them, and also to check whether any disease is coming up, or to if anything some pruning is required or turning the soil is required. So all this requires at least 15 to 20 minutes time daily. So we need to dedicate so that time for this. And we also we have to plan the crops as per the season, that calendar which I have shown. So one can plan according to that calendar also. We can, you when working, we can use some these gloves and shoes and other things that if required. Otherwise, usually we will not be using these type of things. And we should all be also having some understanding by this time to identify, to recognize any infestation of insect or pest, and to take a corrective action on time. And also we need to get our families also involved in particularly our children, because these urban garden practices or urban farming, that gives an opportunity to people who are in cities and towns to grow some certain things which can be used, consumed by the family. It is a very good opportunity, particularly for our young children who in don't get an opportunity to understand how food is grown, where it is grown. So if we do these type of things, they will be involved in these things, so they will understand that this is how food grow, this is the stages in which we get the fruits or the vegetables. It's a very good learning laboratory for our children, which nowadays these days we do not have an opportunity to take them to native place villages and show them and understand this. So it's a good opportunity for them. And we also should we should also ensure that we prepare or generate our own compost or the vermicompost from the resources that we are generating at the household level, maybe the garden waste or the kitchen waste, that can be even the water in the RO system water, the water that comes out through the outlet, we can use that, collect that water and use it in the garden, so that we do not waste that water, and that water is being used and in a very economic way. That water is not being wasted, it is used in a very proper way. And also we need to ensure that the terrace garden where we want to have, that should have a protected structure, as I have already mentioned, that we need to have a very strong support system. And then only if in the house, suppose the terrace is very old and it is in a very um, looks like a very weak condition, then we cannot think of, until we provide structural support and strength to the roof, it is not advisable to go for it. So this was just a very quick, because I have to also discuss on one another very interesting and topic, that is, I once I'm done with both the topics, I would if any questions come up, I will be taking the questions after that. How many of you have heard about microgreens? How many of you already know about microgreens? You can just raise your hand so that I can get to know. I see two hands, Mr. Rishikesh, then Mr. Hital Patel also. So at least 3-4 people, Yoga Varsha. Yoga Varsha. So I'm happy to see that at least 6 raised hands, 7 raised hands. So many people of you are knowing about microgreens. So can I know what you understand by microgreens? You can put it in the chat also. We had done a study on microgreens also here. We had taken, I will be coming to what microgreens is. So as you see that the name micro, and for micro, for anything, if it is a prefix of any related with any word, micro means small. And greens is here related to the leafy things that we get. So those who are in the very small stage, very micro, they're still very small. At that stage only, it is when it is most apt to be consumed, because at that time it will be more full of the nutrients. So these are the very small, very tiny edible plants. Just like we do germination, if you soak mm, if you soak lentils or green moons or any such thing, green or any peas, and you allow it to germinate, you'll see that after one night, 2 night, you can see the germination happening. And if you allow it to grow further for few more days, you can see the true cotyledons coming out from that. And that is the stage where it needs to be harvested and consumed. And that is the stage when it has the nutrients at its very peak, very high amount of nutrients, that might be almost up to 40% also more than the seed stage or at the matured leaves. So microgreens, I would say, is the intermediary between the seed and the matured leaves, that or the matured plants that we get. Even your methi ka saag, now it's a winter season, we get a lot of green leafy vegetables, sarso ka saag, and methi ka saag, spinach, batua, and also many other things we are getting. So we are using what we are getting from the market, that is the completely matured stem leafy leaves that has been harvested and sold in the market. And we also know the more the time we allow the plants to grow, in order to grow, it will consume, use up all the nutrients that is available in that to grow. whether it is plants or it is a human being, we all require the nutrients that is available with us to grow. Same will happen with plants also. So the more the time we allow it to grow, the more the nutrients that is available in that at that particular stage, it will consume all those to grow up. So and that is how when it reaches the matured leaf stage, the nutrient values will come down as it is when it is just 1 week, 2 weeks, or 7 days, 10 days old. So that is why this intermediary stage, only when it is just hardly few inches in length, it is harvested, and that is why it is called as microgreens. And it is the first true leaves that is used or harvested as a food. And it has many much more times nutrients what we have, because in the seed stage it is in the dormant stage. Only when it germinates it comes into the active stage. And this and the matured leaves, already so much of nutrients have been used up to come to that stage. So again it comes down. So this is the best thing, and this is what studies have found out. And there was a few studies were conducted, I would say, that suggest have come out with the hypothesis that microgreens have almost 10 to 40 times more, not percentage, times more nutrients than its matured counterparts. Like spinach, if you would take a microgreen spinach and you take the spinach as a complete matured leaves, so there will be wide difference in the nutrient value. So this is why nowadays there is more demand of microgreens, and particularly the high-end restaurants, five-star hotels, subways, and those, they are using microgreens in their culinary. They are using it for the dressing purpose, for topping, and also as a culinary they are using these things because of these reasons. Mm. So the benefits of microgreens is that it has a very high yield to space ratio. Just when we were seeing in the terrace garden that the seeds were sown at a regular intervals, leaving some distance between seed to seed, distance was maintained. But in microgreens, it is very done in a very compact, very densely. It has to be spreaded so that it, as a bush, as a very compact, it grows. So in a very small, just like a small disposable plates or a disposable cups or even a tissue paper, you can have a bunch of compact microgreens there. So that's why the space ratio and the yield that we get is quite high here. And it is very minimum inputs is required, only the seeds is required, and even the media what we have seen in terrace garden, soil and in compost, and then other garden and leafy waste, and then you have the manures, does not require anything, any small media, and this little sprinkling of water is all that it requires. And even if we don't use the media, just in high water, that water media also it can grow. So this is the what is the minimum inputs that is required, but the value that it gets into the market, yeah, just 100 gram of microgreens, any microgreens depends. Prices may fluctuate plus minus 50, but on an average, 100 gram of microgreens is sold at 300 to 350 rupees for 100 grams. And this and the expense on growing that 100 gram is hardly few rupees, maybe some 5-10 rupees, not more than that. But the return that is coming up, that's why it is becoming a very good entrepreneurial option also these days for the microgreens. Only thing is that a lot of awareness and a lot of acceptance by the consumers is required to start consuming microgreens. And these are the considered as superfoods, functional foods, and it is one of the way, and it has a lot of medicinal importance also. It is having the potential to address several health diseases, cardio risk, cardio risk, your diabetes, even cancers, which are very much scary these days. So it has a potential. Different microgreens have different health benefits. And most of these microgreens will provide more nutrition than the mature leaves, which I have already mentioned, like vitamin C. Microgreens are also loaded with beta carotene, vitamin E, vitamin K. All these things are available in the microgreens, and these are some of the micro. As you can see here, thermocol plates were used for growing, and you can see how in a small area you are getting so much of a densely grown compact microgreens here. These are some of the other types of microgreens that is being used. You can see red amaranthus, purple radishes, red sorrel, green peas are there. In our kitchen, we have green peas, we have this chickpea, cowpeas are there, even those coriander, fenugreek, any lentils also there. So anything can be used for this purpose, and of course, and then there are specific like radish and amaranth. These are also used, sunflower and all, even kale, beetroot. You can see here the beetroot. This scale has the potential to control cancer also. So this is very much useful for those who are either suffering or if we want to prevent. So kale is very good for that. White radish is there, and you see how beautiful also they look. So the how do we grow this? There are different ways medias that is used, and that is coming up here. The media used can be soil, all alone soil. It can be just a tissue paper, as I said, or only the tissue, or any jute, or any such base material that can absorb water, like this, even cocoa peat. All these are some of the media that can be used to grow. And here, high seed density is required. I'll have a video, which is the link I have shared in this slide. I'll see if I get time. I'll just try to quickly show you that. That is a video developed by me only, where I'm demonstrating how to grow microgreens. And we have also worked with NIN on this, where we had grown 10 varieties of these microgreens, which I will be showing in the next slides. So this is how it grows. The cycle, life cycle of a microgreen is very short. Day 1, day 0, when you are putting it, seeds are sown, and then you keep it in the dark for a few days, and once it germinates from the 5th day onwards, and then you have to give it into a partial sunlight also. Once that yellow, initially you will see it is yellow in color, and then when we keep it in the sunlight, then from yellow it turns to green due to photosynthesis that happens, and by 10th 12th day it will be ready for harvesting, and we can get to see. This is how you see. And when the seeds were sown, day 5, and germination has already happened, and it is yellow in color. When we put it in the sunlight, back into the sunlight, then it turns into green. And where people are growing microgreens greens as a commercial, for a commercial purpose, so they need to have proper artificial temperature, sunlight, and all proper infrared radiations of the light. So these type of grow light LED lights can be used, or the grow lights, to give them the required amount and the required wavelength of the light which is required for them. So this is another for those growing it for a commercial purpose. And then this is where we missed, because in the trend conventional we can spray, we can use this spray bottles. We need not pour water on this. Spraying is what is required in this. So you can lightly spray every day to keep it moist. Keeping it moist is what is required, and that when we are doing it on for a commercial purpose, we can have this jet spray sort of structure which will be spraying over the racks to maintain the moisture. And mostly microgreens are used as a salad dressing, smoothies, sandwiches, chutneys, and other ways it can be consumed. And the other thing that we see and we come across is that people say that microgreens are very pungent. Microgreens, people say that we should not cook microgreens because the nutrients losses happens when it's cooked. So it is always good to eat in a raw form, whether as a smoothie, or it as a salad dressing, or it as a soup or a sandwich. But when it is consumed in a raw form, people say that it is very pungent. It is not so palatable to our taste buds. So that is why adoption of microgreens is not so encouraging. Even though so many years have passed, we did this research in 2000. We started in 2018, and I think by 2020 we had completed this project where we had tried to understand that we had grown microgreens in 10 different types of microgreens on 4 different medias. We had then the microgreens that we had grown at our campus managed. We had sent it to NIN, which is a National Institute of Nutrition and located in Hyderabad, to do the nutritional analysis of it, to understand that whether the seed varieties that we choose or the media that we choose to grow, and what variations in nutrient values are there across seeds and across media. So that 40 we had 40 samples, actually 10 media in 10 seeds into 4 media. So NIN had done that nutritional composition analysis, and even we had standardized the recipes. Some of the recipes we had standardized with the help of NIN, and we did the sensory evaluation test also, and based on the scores the recipes were standardized. And we had even done the therapeutic intervention also, where we had given subjects who were suffering from diabetes and blood pressure to consume microgreens for 2 months, and to see how what changes were there over this period of time. And it was found to be that it was brought down the level of the sugar, and also were able to control blood pressure that was there in our the studies that we had done. Mm. And later on, we had also, as a part of, we had to create awareness and promotion of microgreens. We developed certain published literatures, and also a video that I mentioned that I did. I had developed a video also, the link of which is here. So these were the 4 media: potting mix, cocopit, hydroponic, and tissue. And these were the 10 seed varieties that we had used for our research purpose. And these are the recipes that were standardized from those grown microgreens. And here you can see all those smoothies and all those tikkis and idlis, omelets, pulao, so many things. Whatever we prepare, these you microgreens you can cut and you can use it as one of the ingredient. And we also saw established the fact that people when say that when we cook microgreens the non-nutrient loss happens. That is true. That is not only for microgreens. For any food that will be cooked, there will be a nutrient loss. Anything when it is harvested, right from the time it is harvested till the time it is consumed by us, at every level, every stage, every processing, there will be a significant or substantial loss of nutrients will happen. So so was the case here, but we had compared the value of the nutrient which was in the matured leaves and the value of the nutrients which was in the microgreens. We did took a one comparison of the nutritional composition of microgreens versus the nutritional composition of its matured leaves. There also we found that the nutritional values of the microgreens were very high as compared to their matured leaves. Another comparison that we had done was to do the nutritional value comparison of microgreens in the cooked form. In the cooked form, how much it was having the microgreens, and as a raw form, how much microgreens was there. The raw microgreens, if we are consuming, how much nutrient was there, and in the cooked form, how much it was there. Of course, in the cooked form, microgreens was less as compared to the microgreens. But we did another third comparison, that the microgreens in the cooked form, what was the nutritional composition of microgreens in the cooked form versus the matured leaf. Still we found that ki jo matured leaves that we consume, and if we are consuming microgreens in through cooked recipes, still it had more nutrient value than the matured leaves. So even if we cook it to make it more palatable to our taste buds, still we are getting more nutrients than the matured leaves, is was what we try to establish this fact in. So these are some of the images, sensory evaluation. This is for related to sensory evaluation, where and some of the recipes which we mentioned that was developed. And so the only thing is that we want to hear that the hypothesis that we had carried out forward to test that whether microgreens even in the cooked form, is it still having more nutrient values than the matured microgreens, like if spinach or amaranth or fenugreek, or mustard seeds, like that. So, and that was established. This is the link which I had talked about. I don't know if time will be there or not. You can later watch because it's a, I think, almost 20 minutes video. I won't be able to play here. Hmm. So, but yes, this link, I can share it here. You can later on check it, and it is available on our Manage YouTube channel also. And this entire study report is also available on Manage website. So if you want to know more about this, you can um, check on our Manage website under publications, ebooks. So under publications, ebook, you will get this complete um, study report. I am copy and sharing the YouTube link here also for your easy access. Otherwise, you can check on Manage YouTube channel also, yeah, and you can have see here how it is grown and what needs to be taken care. All this what about it was shared here. So I would like to stop here and now is give time for the interaction.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful lecture. And I would like to say that if participants, anyone have questions, please drop it in the chat box.
I see one raised hand from Dr. Prachi Avinash.
Ma'am, kindly please drop your query in the chat box.
Is there any questions so far? I don't see any questions in the chat box.
Uh, yes, ma'am, there is one question from Prachi, Dr. Prachi. Ma'am, thanks for the deliberation. I would like to ask how can we increase the shelf life of a microgreen?
Thank you, Dr. Prachi, for your question. So I would like to mention here that microgreens are something that needs to be harvested only when it is to be consumed or it is to be used. Otherwise, even when we were here working on our research and we had to send our microgreen samples from our campus to NIN Institute, it would take some 1 hour time. Still, we had to take care of that. We were wrapping it up in newspapers and properly so that there is a minimal nutrient loss just in that 1 hour of transition. So that's why you will see that some of the suppliers or agripreneurs who are into microgreens enterprise, they are giving you live trays of the microgreens. They will not harvest also, so that by the time they harvest and it reaches to the consumers, that loss also has to be minimized. So sometimes there is some system of giving you the live trays itself. So what they are growing itself, they will come and give you so that you harvest and consume. So that is the shelf life is that thing. I don't think any such things has been conducted to how we can, after harvesting, how we can improve the shelf life. Only thing that we are doing is that harvesting and consuming within minutes, or if you have to supply to the consumers, you have to supply in a raw live tray, something like that. Market for microgreens, yes, it is there, but nowadays many agripreneurs are also coming up because we carried out studies on microgreens. So, and our report is already available on the website also. So many universities, students who are into agri startups and some budding startups, they also had reached out to me that they are into a microgreens business and they are interested to take the help and support in this. So there are good number of agripreneurs who are into microgreens. Mm. And the market, who are the markets? Mainly it is the high-end value chains, food restaurants, hoteliers, restaurants who are where it is more in demand and it is considered as a very high value in raw material. So there it is, I would say in the common man, common person, not so that because that's what awareness, a lot of awareness. Only when the awareness is generated, then there will be a demand created. And so there is a demand created, obviously in order to meet the demand, market will all come into its normal operational. So marketing as of now, availability, I would say, if there is a demand, there many more will come and grow also. So that first we need to create awareness and create a demand for it. Usually it is, I would say, no. The whatever the kitchen seeds are available, we can use that kitchen seeds also to grow microgreens. This is what we have done, and many studies, if you see that they will be using, some are using a specific high variety of seeds also, high quality of seeds also. But I would say kitchen seeds are okay to start with and to have grow microgreens. Grown at our household level and not specific or very high quality is required. Cassia Tora. Generally, rural pockets of weather. What is your opinion on this specialty? Is it so? Dr. Kankal, I have not come across this Cassia Tora, that variety you have mentioned about it. So I'm not sure about, because I have not come across this Cassia Tora itself. Um, so I would not be able to make any comment whether it is safe or not. But only thing I can just say, we have to for our first-hand information, for basic preliminary information, we might check it on Google otherwise. Microgreens, as I said, that if you want to buy 100 gram of microgreens, costs between 300 to 350 rupees. Mm. And that for 100 grams. So it is a very costly microgreens, and that is why maybe not a very readily marketing there is not much marketing scope as of now, because 100 gram itself costs 300 to 350, which means only the high income people with a high income can afford it. So that's why we are popularizing to grow at our homeland. It does not require, even in the kitchen you can keep one tray or one tissue paper or some any such a small thing, and you can put it and allow it to grow, and then keep it in the sunlight. So that's why we are popularizing to grow at our household level, because in the market it is very expensive. Any more questions? Hope I have answered all. There is a question from Dr. Farheel. She is asking that what is the processing potential of these microgreens, and are they economically viable to cultivate? Economically viable, I would say yes, because but you have to find out who are your markets, where can you get your clients for this. And as I have also mentioned that usually the hotels, food restaurants, and these food related business like Subway, and they can be your customers. So you have to see the economic viability. Economically viability, as I said, yeah, seeds and the inputs is very minimum. So return on investment is very, very high here. But only thing is that you have to catch your market, you have to make your clients, so that because rate of investment is very high. When you are investing hardly 5-10 rupees, and you are getting nearly almost 200 to 300 rupees, which we don't get in any easily in any other options. So that is there. And regarding the processing, as I said, that even there, for cooking microgreens, there is a lot of study says that we should not cook microgreens, we should consume it in raw form. But we had developed certain recipes and standardized them. It had gone through that cooking process. So, and we found that still the nutritional values are quite high than the matured values. So that these type of knowledge has to percolate, so that they start taking microgreens for processing also. Maybe they can dry it, make it into powder form, and then use it in and see what in the powder form what how much nutrient are contained as versus its matured counterparts. And if still it is high, then that powder itself can be, because as I said, shelf life is a great concern. We immediately harvest and immediately use it or consume it. So maybe we can immediately dry and powder and make, but those things have not happened. These are things that need to evolve in a later time. Right now the concern is to create awareness, promotion about this, getting the people adopted or to accept consumption of these. That is the first stage, I would say. Then only when there is enough need, demand, then value addition can be, or further processing uh, might be thought of. Nutritive value of 100-gram microgreens it will vary depending upon the seeds. Amaranth will have a different value, pachal will have different values, clay will have different values. Each sesame, microgreens, beetroot, each will have its own values. So there is no fixed for just like spinach will have its own value, amaranth will have its own, fenugreek will have. So is the with microgreens. There is no standard nutritional value for. So we have that complete research table is there, no study report that I'm saying. There we have mentioned the nutritional composition of each of the 10 seed varieties grown across the 4 media, and there you can see the relative or comparative um, values, the nutritional values of each permutation and combination. My mail ID is available on Manage website also, but I'm mentioning here again. So you can, I have shared my email ID, so kindly note it. Any other thing? Hope all the questions were answered. That's what I'm saying, that nowadays microgreens have a lot of entrepreneurial opportunities, as rate of return is quite very very high in this, very with minimum inputs, minimum investment, you are getting a very high price for that. So a lot of entrepreneurs, agripreneurs, startups are coming up on microgreens. It is evolving. It is still in the evolving phase. Lot of people who know of now microgreens, who understand its benefits, its significance, potential, and the economic importance from entrepreneurial perspective, they are now taking it up as an entrepreneur. To learn about microgreens book, I'm not very much sure about any specific book, but as of now, you can just refer to my ebook that is there on Manage website. Let me see if I can share the link here of the ebook also for your easy access.
Ma'am, I guess that's all with the questions. And if anyone have any further questions, so like, okay, there is one more question. Like for growing microgreens, which one is the best media for growth?
Knowing which one is the best media for growth plants? See, in our study, we had used cocoa pit, we had used soil, we had used tissue, and we had used water also. So I would suggest that to you go with water media, because in water media, in my video, I have shared my video link also and my ebook link also. So you can see that you need just a two meshy basket. In one you have to one basket, non proper basket, keep some water, and one another mesh basket. You with some tissue and you allow it to grow, and then it comes up very well. So water can be very well used, and then followed by cocoa pit. Any microgreen for gastrointestinal diseases, can I check later and let you know through your course coordinator, Dr. Prachi? Yeah, I'll share with the course coordinator to pass it on to you.
And ma'am, one more is there for packaging of microgreens, what product will you prefer?
Kitchen, as I said, that here we have to when we were using newspapers or any paper bags, I would say paper bags is the best to use for packaging, and it has to be in such a way that air circulation is also there, so that it keeps the respiration keeps continuing in that. It need not be a completely packed box, like most of the plants and like vegetables and all, we get in a plastic bags also. Big basket will supply leafy vegetables in a plastic cover and bag also, but here paper bag with proper I would say aeration facility for respiration to continue.
Okay, I guess, ma'am, that's it for the questions. And we sincerely thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today and for delivering such an insightful and enriching lecture. And also your valuable perspective on gender studies and agriculture extension, along with your discussion on rooftop gardening and microgreens, have greatly enhanced our understanding and added meaningful depth to today's session. And the way
I,
you,
yeah, please go
yes,
ahead.
And the way you highlight in the importance of that green rooftop gardening and microgreens, and also the approach in agriculture and rural development, as well as the urban agriculture and livelihood generations. And we truly appreciate the time and effort you have devoted and to being a part of this program. And thank you so much, ma'am. And please do let me know what you were saying.
Just I wanted to extend my sincere thanks to Just Agriculture for giving this opportunity to interact with the academic community, and also the listeners, the participants who were in listening to the presentation very sincerely and enthusiastically. Thank you all for it. And hope the link that I have shared you have already taken copied it. And thank you all for your interactive session today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us in this winter school training
And
program.
PPT, if as you mentioned, I will share with your coordinator so that you can share with the students.
Sure, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you all
Thanks.
of you. Good evening and good day.
Thank you so much. With this, before we conclude today's program, we would like to share a quick update that with all our participants that our last guest for today's session, Dr. Nitin Kumar Rancher sir, was unable to join us due to travel commitments. However, we are pleased to inform you that he will be joining us day after tomorrow. So we request all the participants to stay connected and updated for his session also. And with this, we come to the conclusion of day 6 of the 21 days international winter school training program, and we sincerely thank each one of you for your active participation and thoughtful interactions and enthusiastic presence throughout today's session, and your energy, curiosity and eagerness to learn truly brought today's program to life and made it both engaging and impactful. We are deeply grateful to our esteemed speakers for sharing their valuable insights, and to all participants for contributing to the success of yet another productive and enriching day. Thank you so much, all of you. And we move ahead. Let us carry forward the same excitement and positivity and dedication. We look forward to meeting you again as per the scheduled program and ready for more learning, interactive, and innovations in the days to come. Thank you once again, everyone. What a wonderful audience you were. And have a pleasant evening. Stay inspired and see you all soon.